Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we'll be talking about our weekly Torah portion, but not really, as always, because we begin a new book of Bemidbar, usually translated into English as Numbers, but really, Midbar in Hebrew means the desert. And this is also the title of our weekly Torah portion, the first portion in the book of Bemidbar. And I probably said it about every book in the Torah that now we begin the real Torah. But now it's really the real Torah because we already received the Torah. We have most of the mitzvahs and we are heading to our goal, to the Holy Land. But about this, I want to tell a small story that rooted back in 19th century in the city of Odessa, where I'm coming from. So there was a Jewish person who decided that he cannot take anymore his evil inclination, Yetzer Hara. All of us have one. And he decided to leave it back in Odessa. And he came to the port and left it by the piers. And he was waving to his evil inclination, and the inclination crying by the piers. And 2, 3, 4 days, how long the journey was taking over the sea to land of Israel, he is rejoicing that he is now without his evil inclination, without Yetzer Hara. But then, when he was getting closer to the port of Haifa, or probably back then port of Yaffo, he sees at the piers, at the Yaffo port, his evil inclination. He comes to him and says, "What are you doing here? I left you back in Odessa." He said, "No, there was just my messenger. Here, in land of Israel, is the real deal because it's a holy land." Why I'm telling this story? Because our book talks about journey, but this is journey that kind of copying the already journey that was done by the Jewish people at the Exodus from Egypt. We still traveling in the same desert. We still complaining about the food, water, but now in the book of Bemidbar, the consequences much more gruesome. We still rebel against Kadosh Baruch Hu. There was a golden calf, but yes, it was a very sad outcome. But here in the book of Bemidbar, we're reading about Korach, but even before Korach, the rebellion of Korach, that was very, very gruesome. There is a story of our spies who went to spy on land of Israel and future Holy Land, and they came back to the Jewish people and said, "We cannot conquer this land." And this brought to the judgment that the whole entire generation was sentenced to die in desert, and until now we mourn that day, the day of 9th of Av. But why the new journey, the journey towards a Holy Land, is much more difficult than the other one in the book of Exodus? The late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, the former chief rabbi of the British Empire, he said that there was two different journeys. The journey from Egypt in book of Shemot. It's the journey from when we doing the Exodus. We're traveling from oppression, from slavery. But the journey in the book of Bemidbar, it's a journey towards the new goal, towards the unknown. And the journey from Egypt, much easier. Why? Because we're still in euphoria, in excitement for all the miracles and the freedom, and we feel this freedom filling our nostrils, so we breathe this freedom, yes, with the consequences. But now we're going towards the goal. After we received all the mitzvahs, and seemingly we know what to do, but it's still a journey to the unknown. And this journey, it's much more dangerous and much more complicated. This is why the reward is received by Avram Avinu back in book of Bereshit, when he was told Lech Lecha. Because Avram's journey began not with him by God telling him the go to the unknown. No, it began with his father, Terach, who traveled from Ur Kasdim to Haran. But Terach was traveling from Ur Kasdim, and he reached his destination. The Lech Lecha, to go wherever God will tell you in the future without knowing where you're going and how your journey is going to end and where you'll take it, was told to Avram, and he stepped into the unknown. He began this journey of the Jewish people. And today, as well, we're still traveling to the Holy Land. Yes, there are a lot of educational programs and organizations that promote Aliyah, the repatriation to Israel. But if you come to Holy Land without considering the fact that you're coming to something absolutely unpredictable, you're still in the desert. Because if you come to the Holy Land and try to create there France, Great Britain, United States, Russia, you're afraid to come out from your Egypt, from your comfort zone, and step into the unknown of the Holy Land. So the journey is still going on. We're still traveling to the Holy Land. We still need to step into the unknown. But I'm sure we can do it because Avram already did it for us. And after all, we are his children. Good luck. Thank you very much. See you next week.